Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do two fun, exciting kitchen projects. We are going to freeze dry lemon juice, and I'm going to tell you about that. And then we're also going to make vegan yogurt. So tune in, let's get to it. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're not new here, I appreciate you stopping by. And before we jump into it, let me give one quick announcement on my next workshop. My next workshop is going to be garden planning. That's right, planning your garden from beginning to end. So in the workshop, it is going to be literally workshop style. Well, I will be live with you and we're going to talk about what you're going to plant, what can go together in terms of companion planting, and we're going to actually map out your space of your garden so that you know going into the summer garden, you know exactly what's going to go where. We're also going to talk about succession planting, and if you live in an area that you have a long growing season, what things can you succession plant, and go ahead and plan for that. I'm telling you, when it comes to your garden, planning is key. If you have planning and intentionality, you are more likely to have an abundant garden. So if you want to take part in the garden planning workshop, go to the link in my bio to our website, go ahead and sign up and register. The class is going to be February the 16th. Cannot wait to see you in the class. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to freeze dry lemon juice. And my goal, I've never done this before, but my goal is for it to be a lemon powder that I can use in my cake recipes, dessert recipes, and things like that. I'm hoping it's going to be a concentrated lemon flavor because one of my husband's favorite taste is lemon. So he loves him a good lemon pound cake. He loves a good lemon anything. And so I'm always like using some lemon extract, or I'm using some lemon paste. I'm doing extra lemons all the time when I'm making a lemon dessert for him. And so I thought this might be a good way to get some concentrated lemon powder. I've never done it, so we're gonna do it together. The other reason why I'm doing it is because I buy my lemon juice in cases from Azure Standard. They come, I think it's 8 in a case. And usually I will make an order in the spring, and that'll get me through canning season in terms of, what am I trying to say? In the summer, like when I'm making salsas and things like that, it gets me through that. And usually I'll order another case, but then that second case, this is my second case, I usually am tapering down how much I'm using lemon juice. And so when I looked at my bottles, these actually expire in March. So we have about 6 weeks before these expire, and I know that I'm not going to go through 4 bottles of lemon juice. So I thought this is a good way to preserve it and not waste my money. Okay, I have a full one in the refrigerator, and I think between that full one, that'll get me for another 2 to 3 months. Because you know when you use lemon juice, you're only using like, a little dab at a time. But that is what we're going to do today, and then I'll order a fresh batch right before the summer for all of our like summer goodies. So this expires, let me see, I looked at this the other day, March 18th, 2025. I bought it probably, I don't know, at the end of the summer. So it does last a good while, but if you're not gonna go through it, really, really fast, then, so and so I've taken out my silicone liners because I don't think we need those. And I'm just gonna pour this, okay? So I think I'm gonna leave it, and then since I have 4 bottles, we'll just do a bottle per tray. Now, I've never used my freeze dryer for anything liquid as of yet. And so I'm like, okay, now how do I get this to the freeze dryer without spilling it? So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually put my lid on it, and I think I'm gonna freeze it first, and then we'll put it into the freeze dryer. At least let it get some type of solid instead of putting it in the freeze dryer when it's liquid. So let me grab my lids, do the rest of these, and then we'll be ready for the freezer. I'm so glad I have these lids. If you don't have a freeze dryer and you're interested in getting one, the one that I have is a Harvest Right medium freeze dryer. I do have a link in my description below if you want to use my affiliate link. But has been a great investment, and it is an investment, but I love my freeze dry. I definitely use it way more in the summer. We're using like every day in the summer versus in the fall. It's not as much, but I love my freeze dryer. So, and I like that I bought the trays, the tray lids that go with it, because this is going to be easier for me to transport, and you can see they just kind of stack, which is great. So I'm going to actually put these in the freezer and let them get a little bit less liquid, then I'll put them in the freeze dryer. Okay, so I put the freeze dryer trays in the freezer. Hey y'all, it's actually a few days later, so let me bring you up to speed on what happened after I did the video. So first of all, the yogurt disaster. That did not go well. And so I'm going to actually do a whole separate video on the yogurt. So a couple of things. I did follow the directions as is, but when it got done, it was liquidy, not like where it's just some liquid and the rest was thickened. It was all liquid. I just poured it down the drain. So I went, got to go back to the lab, research, okay, what happened? I don't know what happened. The only thing I can think of is that maybe my milk was not warm enough. It's supposed to be 100 and, well, you didn't see that part of the video. It was supposed to be 110 degrees. And that, I checked it. I thought it was. That's the only thing I can think of, that maybe it was not hot enough to absorb the starter that I put in there for it to kind of come to gel. I also found another recipe, which is a little bit different. So I'm going to do a whole separate video on the vegan yogurt. So that's not on this video. Let's talk about these lemons. So after I left off with you guys, I put the lemon juice in the freezer for a couple of hours, thinking it would at least be semi-solid to go in the freeze dryer. It was not semi-solid. It was still liquid. But my husband, being the man, he went out there and got it for me and put it in the freeze dryer. He spilled just a little bit, but it was negligible. So we freeze dried it. I think it took, I don't remember, maybe 14 hours or so. And then I did an extra dry cycle just to be sure, because it was liquid. I wanted to make sure it was completely done. So here is the final product right here. You can see, and when I tell you it is potent, it is potent. When I brought those trays in here, it smelled like I was like making some lemon cake or something. So you can see the consistency of what it looks like. All I did was I did this, it was really late, so I didn't turn on the camera. I just took a rubber spatula and just went on the freeze dry tray to kind of break it up, and then I just put it in this jar. So what we're gonna do now is actually grind this up into powder. I'm using my Vitamix dry container, and then I'm just gonna pour this in here. When I tell you it is potent, it is potent. You can smell it. I tasted it. It is very concentrated. And the other thing I was thinking about, I guess because it's been sitting in the jar, it's gonna take a minute. The other thing I was thinking about is you could probably make lemonade out of this. So very potent. So all we're gonna do is just grind this up into a powder. Almost like when I do the jalapenos, except it's not spicy. It's just really potent and gets in your nose. Okay, you can kind of see the consistency, but I want it a little bit finer than that, so I'm gonna go one more time. You can almost like just see, I don't know if you call it steam, but I think it's just the motor. Y'all. Okay, perfect. Let's jar her up. So this is very concentrated lemon powder. I cannot wait to use this in like a cake or something like that, or an icing. I'm thinking it ain't gonna even take a whole teaspoonful for it to like really give it a punch. So it only made, let's say, this is a 16-ounce jar. We're not even at the halfway mark. We're like right at the halfway mark. So this probably made, let's just say 6 ounces maybe. But it was 4 bottles of lemon juice, and this is concentrated, and it's not going to take much. So this will last me, I would say, a good little while. And if you want to know if this is like really a thing or did I just make it up, y'all, it really is a thing. If you go on Amazon and put in lemon powder, like they sell lemon powder. If you go on King Arthur, so if you go to the King Arthur website, that's where I bought all of my flour, and I actually saw it on there, and that's what actually gave me this idea. I was looking at something else, and I saw lemon, I was like concentrated lemon powder. I was like, wait a minute now, there has to be nothing but lemon juice or taking, you know, the pills you wouldn't do that with. And so I'm like, oh, that's the whole thing. So y'all, it's a thing. I didn't make it up. So if you have bought lemon powder before, let me know in the comments. And if you have a freeze dried and lemon juice, why don't you try this and make it yourself? So when I use this, the next time I make something, a dessert or something that's lemony, I'm going to use this and I will let you know how it turns out. But I thought it was a fun project to do. And really, again, if I didn't do it, I was going to lose my lemon juice because I didn't have anything that was going to take 4 bottles of lemon juice within the next 30 days. So why not find a way to repurpose and to use up your stuff so that you don't have waste? And that's the beautiful thing about having a freeze dryer, is that it helps you to not have waste. So I will definitely come back on another video and do the vegan yogurt. And another thing I thought about, just side note, when I was doing the vegan yogurt, when you use your Instant Pot all the time for like savory dishes, you really need another silicone ring when you're doing something that's not savory or the same flavor profile. And I do rice in here a lot, rice, beans, things like that. And so I actually need another lid to do, a ring, a silicone ring to do the vegan yogurt. So I have that on order. So that'll be a whole nother video. But I hope that you enjoyed this fun project. Let me know if you're gonna try it, if you've already tried it. And remember, y'all, this is all part of the journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.